Hey, welcome back. Today we've got a very interesting topic that's been going around, creating a lot of buzz here in Fort Bend County. And if you're considering making a move, especially to the Austin Point area, which is just going to be right behind me, you got Brazos Lakes over here, anywhere in Needville, this is something you need to know about so you can take it into consideration if this is going to be for you. So just recently, Tesla filed a $10.1 billion solar manufacturing plant right here in Fort Bend County. Now I've got my computer up because I want to give you all the details here. It's called the Project Crystal Sun, and that's going to be right here near Richmond and Needville where these meet. Now just let me give you a little bit of context to where we are at. This is FM94 and 2 is right around this corner here. So that's, again, for context, that's going to be Brazos Lakes in that direction, just probably about 3 miles up, if that. So that'll help you to understand where all this is taking place. I'm local realtor Norbert Rivera, and we're bringing you all the local information that you need to know so you can make the best decision for you and your family. We got some really great information about this proposed Tesla factory that's going to be coming out here potentially. And so stay to the end of this video. We're going to share some really great information about where it's at, what stages it's at, what the approval process is, and how it's going to affect you as a homeowner or potential homeowner. So stay tuned to the end, and we hope you enjoy. And today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about what's actually been filed. There's a lot of rumors going out there. I heard they're building Teslas. I heard that they're building batteries. I heard they're doing this. So we're going to go and clear up a lot of that misconception. And what's going to be really important here is that if you're looking to do anything, or even if you just own land around the area, you need to know what's going to go on because this is going to be major for you. And so we're going to be also pointing out some other things that we talk about here in this video. But as we said, Tesla filed a $10.1 billion, yes, billion with a B, for a solar manufacturing plant. It's going to be, like I said, right here, Richmond and Needville. In this report, we're going to be confirming to you exactly what has been filed with, like I said, with the county. So if this moves forward, it would be one of the largest industrial investments in the entire county's history, in all of Fort Bend County's history, and that's several hundred years. So something there we definitely need to keep in mind. One thing that's going to be really important is that this is happening immediately. If it's all approved, they're talking about construction dates as early as 2026. So right now we're in, let's say, late August. So that means in the next 4 months, potentially, something could start going down. Now, as I mentioned, it's going to be right back here. There's not any construction as of yet. And I drive by here all the time since I only live a few minutes away. So we're keeping always our eye on what's happening here. But let's see what this means here. According to public filings, Tesla's proposing a solar manufacturing campus in the Richmond-Needville area right here. The site generally located near the intersections of FM 762 and 1994, which is going to be super close to Rosenberg if you're from there. Now, the rumor that's been going out is that it's a battery plant. Now, from what I'm hearing, this is not a battery plant. Public filings describe this as a solar photovoltaic manufacturing facility. A vertically integrated, and this is what it is, a vertically integrated operation that takes raw silicon all the way through the finished product here on site. Now that's going to include silicon ingots, wafers, solar cells, and assembling the solar modules, along with a clean room space, automation, testing, coding, and final assembly. So everything's going to be done here on site according to that. Now the battery factory rumors, it seems like that came in from another project that's going on, I believe, out in the Brookshire area, but we know it's in West Houston, and that's an entirely different project. Here's what's going to be really important for us to keep in mind, okay? This is what's been filed. 3,050 acres are under consideration across 5 potential parcels of land. That's a total investment of around $10.1 billion. About $1.5 billion of that is going to be for purchasing the land and building the building. The rest of the $8.6 billion is towards machinery and equipment. So stuff that we need to know about how much of the land is being purchased and then how much is coming in. That's going to be a lot of stress on these roads, and we'll get into that a little bit more as well. Now, the proposed construction window is between 2026, as I mentioned earlier, all the way through 2028, and then operations starting in the first quarter of 2029. So even though we're talking about 28, 29, just think about it. That's only about 2 years away, sometimes even less, depending on what part of the year. Now here's a major factor. 9,712 permanent full-time jobs are projected. So that's going to be a huge benefit to the county on that, with 1,150 construction jobs for the build out. So another bit of a factor there. Now, just to give a little bit of a context, nearly 8.6 billion of that equipment exceeds the value of most mid-sized cities. So that is a big project that's going to be coming to the area here. Now, again, I think the biggest thing to stress here is this is what's proposed, so it's not been approved. But let's talk about the approval process, because that's going to be a major thing as we go forward over the next 6 months. Tesla filed a JETI incentive application in 2026. Now that stands for the Jobs, Energy, Technology, and Innovation Act. Now, there's a couple levels of approval that this needs to go through. One, it's got to go through the Texas Comptroller. They've got to review and approve this. Then it must be signed off by the governor as well. Also, LCISD, Lamar Consolidated Independent School District, has to formally approve the incentive. That's going to be to cap some of the school taxes that are happening right there in the area there. Now, the one thing that's really important, as you see, this is still raw land back here. They have not broken ground on any of this, but there is a couple things that are really important about this specific location that we're seeing. So I'm going to grab this now, and I want to go and show you around. So as I mentioned, this is FM 1994, and as we cross that, we have in the distance, you can see some of these transmission lines that are back out there. This would be a big benefit to that factory there. And in the past, in the far back, you do have a power plant back here with a power stack. So if you're familiar with the area, a little hard to get those behind the trees. But if you're familiar with the area, they do have that power plant there. So this is what the land looks like as of right now. And as I mentioned, that would be changing because we're talking about a little over 3,000 acres coming from this area. So many of you are going to ask, why here in Fort Bend County, why this area? Finding 3,000 contiguous acres around the area, especially the Houston area, is going to be extremely difficult. You've got to get out of past Sugar Land, past Missouri City, past Katy, and right here in Fort Bend County is a prime spot for it to come in. You've got a lot of housing that's already somewhat been developed, and so you've got to work around some taxes, but they can get this working pretty quick because, as you see, there's a lot of raw land here, and there is a rail line not too far away from here. They could connect there. You also have great access to 59 if you needed to get to 59, to 288 through some of these back roads. Now, as someone who lives here, it's painful for me to see because I love the fact that what we have, the country living out here, but it is coming. I was just talking to someone back here. We know this development is going to be happening very soon. Now, there's a lot of money coming in to this. This is $107 billion GDP impact on Texas that could happen with this. So this is massive growth coming in. Now let's talk to you about how this is going to be affecting you on the real estate side, because it is going to be affecting us. We know that with 1,150 jobs coming in just for the construction phase on this, there are going to be people that are going to be relocating here to this area. Now they're going to be coming in to build this. These are long-term construction jobs that will be happening there. So that'll be something there we need to keep that in mind, especially if you're renting. That could drive some of those rental prices coming up. People want to live a little bit closer here and maybe go back on the weekends where they live back home. Also, with almost nearly 10,000 permanent jobs coming in, that's going to be putting more pressure on the living situation here. Now, we know we've got nearly 20 to 30,000 homes that have been announced in the last couple of years just for this area around. So that's going to be something to keep in mind if you are going to be living into this area, that you could be competing with that. So there's another reason maybe work to purchase something sooner than later, because if you bring that many people in, that could definitely put a lot of compression on the market already as it's there. Now, overall, what are we looking for next? Like I said, this has to go through several different approval processes through the state comptroller, governor's office, LCISD, and of course, not all the permits have been filed, and that's something that still has to be done. But I want to really talk to you about obviously the growth that we're seeing here in Fort Bend County. There are so many pluses and negatives to it, right? Fort Bend County, as I've grown up here, we've seen this just explode, and it's not stopping. There's so much so much available land out here that these things are coming in. I think the biggest and most important part is that we understand, remember that this right now is just a proposal. So nothing has been closed, nothing's been already, they're not starting construction on this. And I would say that if you're doing that, do not make any life-changing decisions based off this. Don't buy a house because this is happening, or maybe you avoid buying a house because it's happening. Don't do any of those. You might just want to sit back, wait for another 6 months to see what's really happening. Now, that doesn't necessarily help me in my business, but I want to make sure we're giving you all that right information that you need, because when you buy a house, especially with these elevated prices and interest rates, that's not something you can quickly back out of. So you got to make sure you're making that right decision. And then, of course, also the right decision for what's going to be coming here. We know there's so much growth already happening, whether this project happens or not. So make sure you stick to us. We're going to be following this super, super closely. So as the next filings continue to happen more and more and more, we're going to be bringing you that information to you as quickly as we have it, so you know what decisions you need to make for your family. Hey everybody, thanks so much for your time. This is a really important filing here about Tesla and Fort Bend County and the future of Fort Bend County. And we're here bringing you all the information that we have. Everybody, y'all take care, and we'll see you on the next one.